Welcome back. Companies can face an expanding number of financial issues in what is a very fast-paced corporate environment in today's standards, from managing the cash flow to navigating complex regulatory environments, and those frameworks keep on changing, don't they? These obstacles can divert attention from actually achieving the corporate objectives, the very reason that you're there. So why is it so complicated? Let's speak to the head of CFO Services at Outsourced CFO. It's Mr. Etienne Raubenheimer making time for me this afternoon. Hello, Etienne, and I suppose this is true for nearly every company. You've got a business to run, but then you've got all this corporate nonsense to put up with as well. How do you try and block out the noise, as it were? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Gareth. Thank you. Yes, very true. So there's a lot of, especially with the corporate governance in entities and small businesses, that complicates things down the line. What happens then is you don't always have that oversight, that strategic view of your information, your financial point of view. And that's basically where we come in as well, where you need a CFO to help and guide you through that transitioning phase, through a scaling phase of businesses, trying to help business owners and founders and entrepreneurs be the best that they can be and actually provide those services to help them grow.
I suppose the issue here is that when you're busy running a business, you're so busy running the business, you forget about the business itself. So I'm getting a sense here, Etienne, that what you're talking about is you need someone to come in and have a bit of a seagull effect. They sort of swoop in, hover around the top of the dinner table, and only come in when they need to. Otherwise, they let you run the business. Is that fair enough?
Correct. Yeah, that's fair. We call it a bit of a satellite overview as well, where you don't have a single entity sitting down, at the ground level and still having that person available, but having that oversight over an entity from a financial point of view and a strategic point of view to actually help the business in itself, the inherent risks of the business, mitigating those risks, and actually help looking forward strategic development. Because if you're on the ground, it's not always an easy way to see what is going on. You need that person leading you from the top to actually have a better visual of your business going forward, where you came from, and where you're going to.
Yeah, I always heard a great saying when I was still, and I successfully failed economics. It was, when you're at the coalface, you can't see the rest of the mine. Someone has to watch the mine while you're at the coalface. So help me understand here, though. So how much of an impact? Give me a best case and a worst case scenario here. If someone isn't speaking to Etienne Raubenheimer, they're running a business, how bad can this go? When you talk about corporate governance and cash flow issues, I imagine we could, in a worst case scenario, Etienne, see companies close their doors.
That is correct. And especially from a point of view where you don't have oversight of your business, you don't have someone sitting there with you, with a background and some experience that can actually help you not go into that, worst case scenario of bankruptcy, but can actually help you grow, develop, double up, scale, almost to a size where you don't always think you can be in 5 years' time. No one actually thinks 5 years back is where I would be right now, right? You always think, okay, 5 years in the present, going to the future. So in a best case scenario, you don't always need a permanent person sitting there 8 hours a day with strategic development. But if you have that core nuggets, those little juicy insights that can actually just steer you in the right direction, that is most of the time what company needs to actually help and grow their structure and their finance function as a whole, to not get into that worst case scenario where you're facing compliance issues, you're facing governmental issues, or any financial distraught, or it's a big ordeal if you go through that without any help and advice from a
And what sort of target market are we looking at here, Etienne? Because I imagine a corner cafe, a corner bakery is not, with respect, going to need the services of someone like you. Yes, they would love it, but it isn't their target market. It's not their LSM, is it? What sort of markets are you looking into? Are we talking from medium enterprises and up? Are we talking about any company that is VAT registered, R1 million and profit over per year? Who do you talk to this afternoon? Who's your clients?
Look, our sweet spot sits in the small and medium enterprises, where you've got about $1 million turnover and going up. But the matter of fact, we also have scaling solutions, which is automation and a ground accounting. We call it the financial hierarchy, where you still need your basic accurate financial information, and without that, you can't really get use of a valuable information that a CFO can give to you. So without that core function, there's no real use for it, right? Then our market actually stretches quite far, because we also have very experienced team members and people that we employ from a CFO perspective that have 30 to 40-year experience, where they can actually fit into major corporations. And we actually also employ teams of CFOs, or teams of, we call them pods, right? Financial pods, like a Navy SEAL team, because it helps the greater organizations as well, or the bigger, more massive organizations, to also assist in their work, because they most of the time never have enough capacity or enough staff. And if they need like a plug-in somewhere, we can help with their performance, their projects, be it financial or automation or scaling. It can actually grow in a sense. Whatever you need, we find a solution for you to help you in that.
Yeah, almost a customized helping hand, if you will. While you're busy running the company, you can actually help somebody help you to run the company as well. It's two very different things. What a pleasure. Head of CFO Services at Outsourced CFO, Etienne Raubenheimer. Hopefully we have time to talk again. I'm more curious as well about the compliance when it comes to large corporations, but my team will make contact with Etienne, I'm sure, in the weeks to come. We're heading up to